Hey there, and welcome back to the worst channel for Warmachine on the internet. I'm Malorian, and it's time for another Warmachine Battle Report. Now, for this one here, I've been loving Magnus 2, but it's probably a good time that I try some other stuff out. And so I brought two alternate lists with me on this gaming day, and I brought with me my Aurora 2 out of theme list, and the other one, my Cephalex with Cyphon. So the game we're going to be seeing here is me up against Ian, and he is going to be running Ossrum. Now, the one that we almost got into is he was pairing this with Aurora 1, so we almost had an Aurora 1 versus an Aurora 2 match. In fact, that's why I kind of like these Cephalex, because, oh, you got these, like, pricey angels, boom, boom, explode, explode, oh, great, they're all gone. However, I don't think it's going to do that well here into Ossrum. So the reasoning for that is that, well, you know, I can hit hard and he has high armor on a turn. That's kind of a wash. The big problem is the amount of anti-infantry he has, and the fact that he can get in there and spray and then be on the feet and keep on spraying and pushing me around is going to be pretty scary. So first thing, just to kind of talk about some of the terrain here, just know that the upside down black thing you see there is actually being treated as a cloud. You know, still post non-hill world issues. Otherwise, another big thing as well is I have a min unit of my slavers that are off the board ambushing in. So looking at this here, if I'm going to win this, I'm going to need to do something a little bit more aggressive. I know that attrition wise, he's probably going to get to me. I mean, something to think about this here too is that I have a lot of infantry, but the only ones that really matter are the slavers in front. You know, the benders in back, they're the ones casting all the spells, but if they don't have another unit to be casting those spells on, they don't really do as well. So, I mean, he has 2 pieces of artillery, he has 4 of the spray bunnies, he has a lot of other things I didn't even consider at the time, and if that kills off that front rank, so what's my win con here? Well, my win con is going to be one that's probable and one that would be a stretch, and the probable one is actually clock. So I have a lot of buddies, these are all my buddies here. I have a lot of bodies on the table, and he has no way of stopping me from rolling tough. So hopefully from just forcing him to making attacks, making him think about what he wants to do, because again, Ossrum is one of those casters with a big toolbox, and if you're there spending time like, what am I going to do this turn? I could do this and this and this and this and this. That'll take that time away. So I think right off from the bat, the clock might be one of those things I want to be looking for. However, one of the things that's also possible is maybe a scenario game here. Now I am going first, so I can get up the board there, but with all these ways of scoring and me having ambushers and stuff like that, it is possible that I might be able to surprise him and be in a spot where I can jump up on scenario. That being said, Ossrum himself is really good at doing scenario, so if I don't get in there quick and get up on this, that could be tough. One of the things I do have him in my favor is I have my 2 ghosty boys. I have the machine wraith and the pistol wraith, and he really only has Ossrum and Harlow that have the magical attacks. So with that in mind, you know, especially if once I kill off Harlow, those 2 solos can get into very key positions to start contesting, and maybe I can move things my way. Again, I don't think that scenario is my way of doing this, but hey, it's something I gotta keep on the table and keep looking for. All right, so turn 1, pretty simple. I allocate, 2 and 3 to my different wreckers. They're going to run up. Good old Dr. Stygius is going to move up and give them an extra 1. So after running, they're still at 3 and 2. I'm going to put Perseverance on the one on the right. The armor's nice, but the biggest piece of the tech here is that he can't be pushed. So if Ossrum wants to do some bulldozer shenanigans, he can't do that to that wrecker. So that's something. Otherwise, I'm trying to stay back and staying out of all the threats, and really looking forward to then getting in there next turn. So, you know when I said I was going to stay out of the threats? Yeah, that wasn't the case. I forgot the Desperate Pace plus Snipe going on to potentially onto the Artillery Corps means that they can go a long way. Now, I actually got really, really lucky because on the left side, I'm not properly spaced yet. I've been caught with this a few times where on my first turn advance, I'm bulked up and then I spread out properly after, and I was all together. And as you can see here, I only lost 4 models, and that's because I made a lot of toughs. And that means as well, I mean, like Harlow was shooting some of the guys that toughed in there as well. That's why there's actually that gap there. But yeah, I could be down way more. So this is just really showing some of the output that's in this list here, and I just need to get into it as fast as possible. So yeah, let's go for it. So by go for it, one of the things I can actually do this turn, because he makes sure to stay out of most of my regular threats, is I can have my ambushers coming on from the table edge. Now, even though he's outside of the range of being able to charge into him, I specifically on this side have a unit of the benders so that they can go up, adrenal flood these guys to move them up, and then they'll be in range to charge. So if these 2 guns over here are the spray bots, and if I can really critically damage them, that would be huge. So unfortunately, I didn't really do that much. I was able to stationary with the pistol wraith, so that's something, especially because it was actually now outside of the range of Ossrum, so I won't get a focus to shake that. But, you know, I did a little bit of damage, nothing overly crazy, unfortunately. And then otherwise, I had a difficult decision to make. Either one, I run up with my forces, take the hit, and then try and counterattack next while he has his armor up. Because, I mean, let's be honest, next turn is going to be his feet turn. However, if I do that, he's going to be able to advance up, contest all of the flags, and kill off all those slavers in the front. Now, my other option is to use my feet to jam. So basically what my feat does is Cyphon is my wreckers are going to get +3 armor, +3 speed, and +3 strength. So they're fast. They can run now 16 inches. So I looked at this and I decided that's the route I'm going to go. So that's why 1 is in the middle there. It's also contesting the zone, and I'm hoping he won't have enough there to take him out. The negative part of the feat is that after they're done activating, they take 1 damage at every column, so it's already down 6 boxes. But again, if Ossrum wants to be spending all that time upkeeping spells and swapping fire for effect, he might not be able to allocate enough that I might survive. And then not only would that be a scenario jump, but then of course, obviously the wrecker's in a spot to do a lot of damage. He's even holding up Harlow right now, so that's pretty big. On the left side, I am in, you know, technically right now I'm controlling all of those gun bunnies. However, really it's just 1 bulldozer away from being pushed away. Now, that might seem like I'm just throwing away that wrecker. However, also remember that we have hyper aggression, so that if he tries doing a spray through me, taking his first shot, I'm going to move right forward and engage them all again. So whereas the Perseverance one is more of like a hard tech, the left side, I'm kind of hoping to trick him. Otherwise, I'm getting up there with everything else, now properly spacing out. I had the Void Archon peeking out from outside from the house there, looking to do some real damage if possible. And I'm not even bothering putting solos on flags, because if I do, he will specifically kill them. And so what I did instead is put some of these things like my Agitators, which are normally very critical, out in the open where they can be killed. So the reasoning for that is that I know that I'm probably going to lose 1 if not both of my wreckers. I'm really hoping to keep the 1, but the main thing being is that after this is done, I probably don't have anything much to do there other than like maybe attacking the objectives. So I'm okay if he focuses on them as opposed to something else. Big mistake here that I did though, Dr. Stygius forgot to move. So he should be way further up. He has a lot of cool things he can do, and I just literally forgot to activate that model. Alright, so going on to his turn here, you can see that he did a really good job killing off my stuff. So really what happened is that Ossrum went, he feeded, he did Bulldozer, so he could be pushing me around, he did an Energizer, so that already pushed me away in several of the spots that he needed me to, of course not in the middle like we were talking about. And then those jacks started trying to kill that center wrecker, and they kept on failing. He was not able to really get there. So I mean, the driller did all of it as it could, the other jacks came in, their other heavies trying to do some work, they didn't get it done, and then eventually what it was going in there with artillery. The artillery had to shoot into it, and the last shot was able to take it down. So the glimmer of hope is gone. That didn't hold out, but it took out a lot of his activations, so that's good. Meanwhile, he did a lot of work on the left side there, killing off the 2 agitators, kind of like I thought he would, but that's okay. Again, I have a lot of other solos still left that I could still be using. And so in the end, I'm going to be scoring my zone. He's going to be scoring his zone. And unfortunately as well, he's in a very good spot that I don't think I can even score anymore. I mean, the center flag, good luck trying to clear that up. The left flag, again, I have to kill off 2 if not 3 of those gun bunnies. And underneath feet, they're really high armor. And on the right side, again, 2 gun bunnies. Or I think it's actually just the one contesting it. But more so, I just don't have a lot of good things I can put on that full health gun bunny, so that's going to be tough. So what I need to do then is just kind of get ahead wherever I can. I need to contest the zone. I need to score at least my 1 point to get ahead. And another thing I see here too is I can get rid of some trouble pieces. From him killing my models, my Void Archon got some souls, and I can use one of them to go incorporeal, charge over all these models, punch Harlow in the face, teleport over, and start spraying all of that infantry in the back. I think normally I could also start punching and trying to kill Ossrum, but under feet, it's not very likely. So it's a very straightforward plan, and that's what I go for. I do some damage on the right. The pistol wraith, again, I'm just trying to get in a spot where maybe I can threat Ossrum later. So now that he's incorporeal again, he's just up there. The Void Archon did fantastic. It charged up, killed Harlow, teleported over, and I think I put myself in a bad spot. I could have sprayed a lot better, but the spot that I put him down, because you have to actually target a model, I think I'm more used to my old overlords that don't need line of sight, so I got kind of lazy with my placement, and in the end I could only get one of the units. So I think I threw away a big opportunity here to spray away both of these artillery pieces, but whatever, one's off. And I also punched Ossrum for 5 boxes, so you know, he's limping, he's hurting. Meanwhile in the center, I'm just trying to bog things down now. I'm not even really bothering in a lot of cases even to make attacks because their armor's so high. On the left, I did try to get a few things done here where the wrecker, I could go over and try and go and hurt the driller. Again, very high armor, and I'm better off just trying to deal with these spray bots on the left. So I was swinging against them, didn't take out any systems, but there you have it. At least I'm up 1 scenario point here compared to him. And Perseverance, I put this now onto Cyphon to make him a respectable 13-19. But looking at this, I think I should have actually put it out on either a unit or doing it like killing a drudge through increasing the range to put it on the other wrecker so that it couldn't be pushed around. But yeah, I put it on myself just in case he tries to kill me. So on his turn, he comes over, he kills my wrecker on the left. That's sad news. He does lots of work in the center, and the worst thing about that is that the Avalancher, is it the Rock Ram? Yeah, that's called a Rock Ram. It tramples in, and it's starting to threaten my zone. So this is one of those key pieces here where, you know, normally I could gum things up and I couldn't get anywhere, but now that I can't really threaten it, and between it trampling and having repo, it's probably going to get to my zone. So I'm starting to see the clock for scenario ticking against me and getting pretty dangerous here. I do score my own zone again, so I'm going to be going up another point. He gets another point here, but yeah, really looking at this here, his clock's going down. That's great. But you can really see here how the attrition is going against me. I don't have a good way now of threatening the assassination now that he killed the Void Archon. So I just got to keep on somehow pushing this scenario to force him making attacks, and maybe he'll clock. So that's what I do. I basically gum up that rock ram so that if he tries to bulldoze, he can't push my guys out of the way. Same things on the left, although, man, Dr. Stygius goes up there and he has a whole spell slave thing. So he does that for that empathic overload. And yeah, that kills off that entire other team of artillery there. So that's fantastic. Otherwise, I'm now contesting his zone with both of my incorporeal units. So that should keep him away. I'm going to go up another point here on scenario, which is fantastic. I'm trying to hit and battle away at the bots on the right, hoping that maybe I can start scoring that flag too. But yeah, things are getting a little bit desperate here. And if they weren't desperate enough, they got more desperate. So really, between all the sprays and the shots and stuff on the left, he kills off everything on the left. So he's not scoring yet, but he cleared up. And the big thing is, you know how I tried bogging those things around the rock ram so I couldn't be pushed away. Well, if you do that, you're also in a pretty good spot to get smashed by an AoE. So the Avalancher shoots his own rock ram in the back, actually does some pretty good damage to himself, but he also kills all my guys around him, or a good chunk of them, such that now the rock ram can just like punch a couple of guys and repo into the zone. So this is awful. Now he's shutting down my scoring there, and so I just really, this is going to have like one more turn that I need to do a big push. So I think if he wouldn't have contested my zone, me going up another point and just needing to like clear out the right would have been a potential scenario win. But now that he contested it, I'm basically 100% on looking at the clock. So I get ballsy this turn, and I'm like, well, the chips are down. I need to get really careful here. So Cyphon charges across. Now remember, the rock ram has taken some damage already, especially from his shot from his own guy, but Cyphon charges in and just explodes on the dice. My dice were incredibly hot, and so after my charge attack and a bot one, I kill it. So I'm going up on some points here that I didn't expect. Unfortunately, I was not able to kill off the gun buddy on the right, so scoring there was not possible. And so otherwise, all I can do is, again, okay, I'll go up my point, I'll make scenario a little bit tougher, and his clock's getting lower, and all I can do is just keep on hoping that clock goes. So on his turn now, he's starting to counter score. He has a solo on the left flag, so he has that. The driller and a bunny are onto my zone here on my own side, so that's not great. This is already turn 6, so I mean things are getting pretty late here, but he's down to like 40 seconds of clock. So what I need to do as he's starting to score and he's going to start getting ahead of me is I need to charge over there, and I need to try and get him to like go after Cyphon or something. So that's what I do. I charge over here. I do some damage into the driller. Nothing really serious. I didn't get the same bunches as before. Meanwhile, I keep on shifting things around. The pistol wraith actually came down so I can contest the flag on the left later. So I'm just going to try to contest everything I can. Yeah, same story, guys. So on his turn, you know, he keeps on going. He makes some attacks, keeps on scoring now, but he does not clock yet. So on my turn, I try and force the issue and make a few more attacks. And then on his turn, he was smart and didn't do anything. So, you know, he actually did a little bit. He got himself, so he was scoring the middle zone there, destroyed my stuff in the zone, but rolled very quickly. These last two turns of him were really quick. So he was able to end the game with something crazy like 20 seconds left or less. And yeah, that's really it. So unfortunately in the end, you know, based on him coming ahead in scenario here, he is going to be winning the game on scenario. But, you know, this was a very interesting game. It was one going in that I knew I was at a disadvantage based on all the sprays he had and the ability to kill off my critical infantry. But I had mentioned that it was even worse than I thought, because one of the things I didn't mention going all the way through here is that Thor and the two weapon team solos as well that are normally there to do, like, you know, I said the one time desperate pace, but they can do siege tactics. Well, they also have spray guns. And so between the 4 bunny sprays, the 3 sprays from the solos, the 2 artillery pieces, the shot from the avalancher, and then just all the regular single shots as well, it was just a lot. So we talked about whether I made the right play with jamming my wreckers, and I still feel it was the right one given what the situation was, but yeah, unfortunately it just didn't go my way. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you have any thoughts on the list or the game, please post it down below, and otherwise, we'll catch you later. Bye.